this week I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of a read with me vlog while I'm kind of trying to get back into the swing of things. I mentioned in my last couple of videos I'm recovering from a concussion. We're in week 3 and I'm doing much better. Week 1, I literally couldn't work at all. I'm basically doing software engineering right now, so I just like called in sick literally every day for the first week. I did half days last week, and today I made it to 3:30 p.m. before my eyeballs tapped out. They said, "We can't do this anymore. I need to go home." So I listened to them and I went home. But also, this means that I have not been reading like at all, kind of because I can't concentrate and kind of because my eyeballs just aren't working. I'm supposed to start a like vision PT program next week to help me be able to read again, but also my eyeballs just might be okay by then. I have a little bit of a haul to start this video out with, which will be unusual for this channel, but I went a little bit crazy just to make myself feel better about not being able to read anything. And then I'll talk you through what the rest of the plan for today is. The first couple of books are a little bit of a spoiler for an upcoming video. If you recognize the titles and you think you know what I'm working on, try guessing. I don't think you will get the whole story, so I don't mind showing these, but without further ado, I have The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, which I got for $7.46 at the used book superstore. And then I have Pachinko by Minjin Lee, which I got for $6.96 at the used book superstore. And then I got a couple of books that I think will be comfort books for me, and that is Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. I got this from thrift books. I don't remember how much money I spent on it, and honestly I'm really sad about it. This is an ARC, and everywhere on it it's like, this is not for resale, don't resell this, you cannot resell this. Maybe there's an expiration to that. I feel like it's kind of how copyrights become public domain at some point. Maybe there's an exception to the rule and they can actually sell it now, but I didn't know that this was an ARC. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. I was trying to buy like a unique edition, and I got this mostly just because I think ARCs are ugly and I kind of don't trust them on principle. I'm like, if this is an ARC, are things going to get better in the actual edition? So I will read from this, but I am pretty picky, and so I might end up getting myself a new edition of Carmilla if I end up really liking it. And then this I talked about in my last video during my bookshelf tour, but I got this crazy, beautiful, insane edition of Dracula, which I'm so excited to sink my teeth into. Okay, I get a pass because I'm not feeling well for that. I also talked about The Mistletoe Murder. This on Thrift Books, the like title that I clicked in like the a title of things, of editions that I was looking through, was Moby Dick, specifically the Norton Critical Edition. And I know what you're thinking, that does not look like Moby Dick to me. This is The Mistletoe Murder, oh, singular, and other stories. So I think it's a collection of murder mysteries set around Christmas time, which I would never pick up, but actually it doesn't sound too bad. So I'll read this probably around Christmas. And then I got an actual copy of Moby Dick, or The Whale, because I saw Emmy Reed's, I mentioned her in like every video, but I saw her haul this and I was like, I literally need to get my hands on that so bad. And it's not because I'm doing the Game of Thrones book club, but this is for another book video that I know for a fact you'll not be able to guess, that I'm so excited for. I'm really excited to read this. This is actually a really good segue into what I'm reading currently. So I have kind of a few audiobooks queued up for me to be working through, and one of them is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I think that's her name. Sarah Beth Durst, which I have the large print version of. I also have it on Libby, and I have it through Spotify on an audiobook. And honestly, I found the easiest way to like read and not have my brain and eyes be overwhelmed is through audiobook right now. So it was a little bit of trial and error with The Spell Shop. And this one is light and it's fun, but it's a little bit too light and fun, and I'm just feeling so frustrated that I'm not able to like engage with stuff at the level that I normally engage with it at. Like this, usually I read books like this as like a palate cleanser when I've read a couple of like too intensive books back to back from each other, and I haven't been reading at all. So I'm reading this and I'm just getting so agitated by like how cute and fluffy and like cottagecore, whimsical, witchy it is. And like those are all adjectives that I would normally really appreciate in like a fluffy, like just low stakes kind of fantasy book. And there are like high stakes things that happen in this universe. I feel like it's been pretty similar to Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree, which I read the first like few chapters of and decided that it just wasn't for me. That was like way too sweet, fluffy, nice. So it feels like that, but with like an edge of realism that I've been really appreciating. So there's no reason for me to not be enjoying this book, other than that I'm really craving something that's like a little hardcore. So I decided to look through the list of books that are longlisted for the Women's Prize in Fiction for 2026 and see if any of them are about the ocean. Because right now, really what I want is to read The Old Man and the Sea for the first time again. But I can't like, I can't go back in time, have unread that book and then reread it for the first time right now. But I was like, okay, let me see if I could get close to that. Let me see if there's a book on my TBR of like the Women's Prize long list, a book for the like Goldfinch video that I'm working on. Like maybe one of those are about the ocean. And so anyways, right now I'm listening to, watch me, I forgot the name of it. I'm listening to Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. And I'm really loving it. It gives me like the grit that I was looking for. It's extremely well written. It is a mystery, which I know I keep saying that I don't enjoy, but I'm in chapter 6 and I'm really liking the way that it's laid out, at least for now. So I'm gonna keep listening to that. I am cat sitting for a really good friend of mine, so I'm gonna go check on the sweet boy. And honestly, I think I made a huge pot roast yesterday. And I walked into my apartment just now when I got home from work and it still smells like pot roast in here. So I'm gonna pack up some pot roast for myself. I'm gonna change into my gym clothes, bring my yoga mat, and just go hang out in my friend's apartment for a while, because her cat, like, he's a pretty high energy little dude. He doesn't need a ton of playtime, but he's extremely social and just needs more people time. So I think I'm gonna eat dinner, work out over there. I'll bring my Switch, and I think I'm gonna play Power Wash Sim 2 and then keep listening to Wild Dark Shore. So I'll check in later this evening, let you know how it's been going, and you'll absolutely get some B-roll of the precious little boy who I'm going to go visit. Okay, I'm really trying not to cut the top of my head off and still be centered in the frame. I'm like halfway through Wild Dark Shore and I am loving it. I did not play Power Wash Sim while I was watching it. Instead, I worked on this blanket that I'm knitting that is a baby blanket for a friend's baby. I wanted to show it to you because I think it'll be cool to see how much progress I make between different clips in this video, and I think I'm about a third of the way through it. Basically just repeating this pattern until it's long enough. Okay, but Wild Dark Shores is so freaking good so far. I know if I were holding this book, I would not have put it down until I finished it. It was super compelling, really kind of fast. I felt like I got to the 17% mark and I was like, oh my god, so much stuff has happened. I need to like sit down, like pump the brakes. I can't take any more of this. But then I listened to another like 30% because I tried switching back to the spell shop after I got home from watching Mr. Leo Boy, but it just wasn't scratching the itch still. So I listened to more of Wild Dark Shore in the evening, and man, I'm like kind of very sad that I'm listening to this and not like holding it and reading it. I just think that the experience would be a little bit different. Like, it's not that I don't think that audiobooks don't count, but I definitely experience them differently than I experience books that I hold and read. And this is like less true for different genres. Like, it's less true for nonfiction for sure. So I don't mind listening to a lot of nonfiction on audiobook, but listening to fiction and fiction that I really want to be like processing and living with and sitting with and enjoying is a little sad. But at least I'm able to like listen. I wasn't even able to do that last week. And oh, the other thing, I think I will probably at some point end up buying this book because I'm loving it so much. But I kind of wish I already owned it so I could have like, so I could highlight lines or like tab them so I could read them to you guys, because she's dropping bars in this book, like absolute bangers, like insane, just like single lines that perfectly summarize a piece of the human experience that I would love to share with you all. But my baked potato brain, mashed potato brain is what I'm going for. My mashed potato brain just can't hold on to information for longer than a chapter right now. And these chapters are short, which is another reason why it is absolutely flying by. I have a miniature haul for you all from the thrift store that I just went to. All of that B-roll was from the Sabers in Saugus, Massachusetts. So if you saw any of those books and you want them and you live near Saugus, you should definitely go check it out. They also had a buy 4 get 1 free deal, which I did not partake in because I only bought 3 books. Okay, anyways. I got Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. This is kind of, whenever people come to my house and they look at my bookshelf, I kind of want them to, in their mind the whole time, be like, yeah, that makes sense. That would be on Hannah's bookshelf. And this is just one of those books. I've only read half of it, and I started reading it because I was vacationing really close to the Rachel Carson nature preserve in Maine. But I only got halfway through it because this was written, I think, like 40 years ago, maybe more than that. And it's still a little bit too relevant. I was like, how was this written so long ago and we like haven't made any progress? You know, it's one of those things that just hurt. Oh, this was written more than 40 years ago. Yeah, 1962. So I don't know. Anyways. Silent Spring, $4.99. I got another copy of Remarkably Bright Creatures. If you noticed, this is the special edition sprayed edge. I don't think that this is a special edition. I think on the paperback they just did this really cute, very beautiful sprayed edge. I bought this because I really want my mom to read it, and so I'm gonna either mail her this copy or my hardcover. I might mail her the hardcover because it's in a little bit better shape. And I kind of prefer, ooh, there's a bookmark. City, Feed, and Supply. Friends and neighbors help us beta test our new online store. City, Feed, and Supply. What do we think that is? Is that a animal, like a barn thing? Who did this come from? I don't know. I want to know their life so bad. But I will probably mail my mom the hardcover because I like having paperbacks more anyways. Okay, and then the last one that I got is More Days at the Marissa Kai Bookshop. I own the first one, and it'll just be really pleasing to me to see them both together, except I'm not really in the mood for like a Japanese cozy fiction right now, but I think I will be when it's beach time. Okay, before I get into the rest of my book reviews for this video, I want to talk about some exciting book news that I came across this week. One of them is that Arcady Martine's book Rose House was republished with a few new covers. So this introduced me to the fact that she published a book in 2023. So I'm really excited to pick up Rose House one of these days whenever I'm in a sci-fi mood again. And then my other piece of book news is that PBS is making a documentary on Mary Oliver. It is a part of some film festival that I don't know anything about, but the trailer was recommended to me on my YouTube the other day. So really excited, very excited to watch that when it's on streaming this summer. It doesn't seem like any theaters near me are showing oh my gosh, are showing the movie when it showed at film festivals later this week. So really looking forward to those two things. I finished Wild Dark Shore a few days ago, and I think I'm gonna wait to give like a full summary of it until I do a longer Women's Prize long list video, which I'm hoping will come out in the next couple of weeks. But the rest of my update for this video is that I really have not been reading very much this week. And I've tried vlogging before, like I've started and then not gone through with a bunch of vlogs because I get to like Wednesday and I'm like, I literally do the same thing every single day of the week. This week, I did do the same thing every day of the week. I went to work for as long as my eyes and my brain would allow me to. I got home, went and hung out with my friend's cat, Mr. Leo, which was so much fun. I tried listening to an audiobook, kind of failed at listening to an audiobook, and then played video games. And that was my entire week. I ate the same dinner every day too, which was the pot roast that I mentioned in my last clip. So a little bit of a bummer as far as my like reading progress goes. I was thinking about going to the library and picking up the 7th like published volume of Lore Olympus because I made it through the first 6 books of Lore Olympus last week, which was really fun. It was super reminiscent of like fan fiction that I read as a teenager, so I just had a lot of fun with it. But I kind of want to wait because the last 2 Lore Olympus books are coming out later in this year, so I kind of wanted to wait for those to come out to read another one. I tried picking up the Spell Shop again and just still wasn't in the mood. I did start listening to another book on the long list for the Women's Prize this year, which was Something and a Thief. Hold on, let me pause so I can find the name. It is A Guardian and a Thief by Megha Majumdar, and I listened to the first chapter. The structure of A Guardian and a Thief is kind of cool because it takes place over a week and there's 7 chapters, so there's like a chapter for each day, and each of the chapters are kind of like subdivided a little bit, but you still know that like a whole day is going to happen in like chapter 2 kind of thing. So I listened to the whole first chapter, but I kind of realized with the Women's Prize long list, it's just going to be really depressing, and I just don't want more depressing. So this is me keeping it super real with you guys. I really wish that I had read more this week. I loved A Wild Dark Shore. Easy 5 stars for me, easy 5 stars. It did kind of propel me into an existential crisis a little bit when I finished reading it, because it's like the focus of the book is not that it's a climate dystopia, but it is a climate dystopia, and so just kind of hit me in my feels a little bit in regards to, you know, climate and climate optimism or climate skepticism, let's call it that. So that I have been a little bit bummed since finishing it, but like I think that speaks to like the overall artistry of the book and like the impact that it had on me as a reader. It was just really phenomenal, extremely well done, and I highly recommend it. Thank you all so much again for hanging out with me this week. I know I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted to, but I really appreciate showing you all what a regular week in the life looks like, especially having a 9-to-5, especially not feeling 100%. It's okay to not be your best all the time, and I'm looking forward to reading more with you in the future. Bye.